So for 100th video, we're going to be testing out my new $38 Wen Jigsaw that I just got since my old one's died. So let's see if it's any good. Somebody's pressure washing outside, so I can't really talk and make noise. Well, I can make noise, but you won't hear me. So let's check out this guy. I might actually check out the instructional here. Some kind of a thingy. And we got our Jigsaw. I actually like that it didn't come with like a packaging or anything like that, because I don't store my stuff in boxes because I use it all the time. So this way I can just not pay the extra $5 for stuff I don't need. But let's open it up and we'll see. Alright, first impression. So it's definitely heavier like in my hand than the Black & Decker that I got, the $25 one. So for an extra, like, what is it, $14, $13, you get quite a bit more. The plug right here, just like a little pin, you have to pull on it. Let's see, move the box out the way. So it came with two Jigsaw blades, a red one and this one. I'm assuming this is wood, and then this finer one I take is metal, which is kind of neat. I've been thinking of buying a metal blade because there's some aluminum I want to try to cut. Damn, that's just like shut right out. So quick release, one finger works. The screen right here is nice because it just pops out and then pops in. I generally don't use them, so I'm gonna keep this out. And then these little guys, this goes inside. For some reason, I don't know why you need that, but and for probably some measurements. So anyways, but yeah, it feels good in my hand, feels heavy. There's a trigger here. For some reason there's on and off. I like that the bottom plate is plastic, so this shouldn't scratch the stuff. And there's also two of the hex bolt. Mine were actually getting loosened, so it only had one, and so I constantly have to, if you ever watch my videos, sometimes I had to bang it because it was kind of letting the Jigsaw blade go at a funny angle. But what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go outside and start cutting. Oh, there's some kind of attachment for here. I don't know what this is. Alright, fingers crossed. Let's see. Initial cuts are really good, so we're gonna see how fast we can cut this poodle out so that we're, you know, scientific in our endeavors. But so far, really nice. I don't know if we can see, but it's right now 3 minutes, so it was like 250. Not bad. Do something a little bit more challenging. We'll time this as well. See if you can recognize it. Alright. So Jordan with the mohawk. That took, let's see, but just under 5 minutes. And the reason this is still here, I gotta pull a staple. I was like, why is the Jigsaw not going? But there's a staple, so I gotta yank that out. Not bad, easy enough. So I'll do the fingers probably with a file by hand, or just kind of look at an image a little closer because I can't really tell. And let's try some 3/4 inch plywood, because that's the one that the little Jigsaw was struggling to do, so we're gonna test it. It does cut fine. It's strong enough against this thing. The blade does come in a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not vertical. It's like this, but the other Jigsaw does that, and I think they'll all do that with 3/4 inch. This thing's throwing me off. I noticed it when I was cutting these two guys, that I can't really see the blade. So when I'm cutting, because that double line there, it throws off my vision, and it kind of is hard to refocus. So I'm gonna see how this is attached, and I might just dremel this off and cut this off. I think it's just like a finger protection, but we don't need that. This is fine, it's cutting okay. The one thing I was finding hard was when I got to a place and then I had to like re-grip and turn it, restarting it, I kind of went off. And I don't know if it's just the way the positioning is, or the way that this kind of slips differently. I took this off because I felt like the plastic was catching against this a little bit more than the metal would. So I'm gonna get a couple, so I got a couple of scrap pieces here, so I'm gonna doodle a couple more of these, one more on this kind of wood and one more on that. Do it on that first and check, and then do another one of these and see, because I kind of cheated and the bottom got cut a little bit more because I went a little too far, had to come back and kind of evened it out a little bit. So we're gonna kind of see what's what. I can tell that this side is thicker than this side too. Keep forgetting to make an actual Star Wars video, but let's see what's what. So this is just over 6 minutes here, but basically I cut each in 3 minutes. They're a little not perfect. I followed the lines exactly. I knew that the lines weren't going to be quite perfect, but I wanted to follow them because I can see right here it's a little bit like a bulbous and the bottom is a little flat, but that's not imperfection in the cut, it's imperfection in my stencil. So yeah, looks pretty good. I think this jigsaw is fine. The biggest difference I think is just the amount of friction that it has. It's the amount of muscle memory that I've built up with the other ones that I just slightly struggle with. But we're gonna sand it all down, finish the head right here, and these messed up fingers, looks like the Demogorgon fingers almost. And so do that, and I'll probably just give it away to the neighborhood kids, these signs, and then these are presents. So we'll go from there. Alright, so this guy is fine. This cut out pretty good. I mean, this one is very happy with. The circle is really hard to do by hand. This is probably, out of all the things that I cut, the circles are the hardest to cut perfectly. So, but if we look at an angle like this, it looks really good. If we look like dead on, you'll be able to see far more imperfections, different slight thicknesses and whatnot. But once I start sanding it, I'll see what they are, and I can come in and kind of clean it up, make it a little even. And I'll take a picture. The 2D make it easier for the eye to see the imperfections, where so the video will even showed up. But if I'm looking with my own kind of two eyes, then the 3D look kind of offsets it, and pictures will generally show more flaws that are not quite as visible to the naked eye. And then these are fine. I'm gonna sand everything down real quick and start finishing up this one. I don't know if I'll sand yet. Did all these down. There's another one over there, but this thing just popped right out. There's like a slot, so all I had to do is just squeeze, pop it right out. So now I literally have no criticism of this jigsaw. This is great for the money. I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. I really like it. But let's go ahead and finish painting these, and I'll do a little screenshot for the video to close out. But otherwise, this jigsaw is fantastic. Somehow I had a paint run on it, and I don't know from what. Maybe I carried the can over, I dripped, I don't know what happened. So what I did was I tried to kind of rub it against this mat, and the texture here is nice and rough now because it's been like sprayed with bed liner and so many paints and whatnot. It's pretty much like sandpaper. So then what I did, I rubbed it pretty hard like that. That's what she said. And so now I'm gonna spray it, and we'll see if this is gonna be a nice distressed look, because it actually might work out really well. Yeah, it's really nice. You can see like the imperfections from underneath. So it actually are kind of really neat. So we'll see once it dries how it turns out at the end. Alright, so they're all done. The Volt Boys here is just for the thumbnail for the video. Everything came out really nice. Technically I did not cut this with the new jigsaw, but I did. Let's walk over for a second. I did cut this background for it, but that's going to be lit up with LEDs and stuff like that. So next projects, we got a bunch of other things coming up. But let's get back to this guy. Overall though, I'm very impressed with this jigsaw. I mean, it's great, especially once I got this thing out of here, popped it out. It's been phenomenal. It's steady. My hands don't hurt. It's very it doesn't vibrate as harshly as my other ones. It doesn't overheat like the other ones either, but the other one might be, you know, overheating because something was breaking off and the friction was causing it to break faster. Obviously this one's easy shape. The one thing I didn't show, so I did dry brush it at the end. You can see the slight darkening on the side, and all you do is just get some brush, dip it in the paint, kind of go dry it off on something else, and just slightly dab. In a lot of my other videos you'll see it, so it's pretty easy to do. But you can tell the difference between the one that has the sides sprayed black, how more 3D it looks. Same thing with Jordan, and I did dry brush this slightly versus where the side is just red and it's not as cool. You can see on that sign right here how neat it looks. Vault Boy has the same thing. So that's how I used to do things. Now most of the time I do the black shadow. It's a little extra steps, but it's worth it. And I did really like that kind of old weathered texture from going and just rubbing the thing, the sign on my, whatever the background is on my painting table, the banner that I use. So I'm pretty excited about doing that. I should have done it on something like that before, but that's gonna be for future videos. I mean, constantly doing some weird techniques and so forth. Hammer for scale. Thanks you guys for watching. Let's go have a celebratory cider to celebrate our 100th video. And also my birthday was a couple of days ago, so thank you.